In this video, I wanted to talk a little bit about world building and how it has affected my art. I've definitely talked about my whole world building project and my journey a little bit about world building offhand and in different sections of different videos that I've posted, but I really wanted to release a full video on my thoughts on world building, especially in terms as an artist and how that has affected my creative output and my motivation for art. So I wanted to talk a little bit of how I even got to where I am in terms of my world building project, how I approach world building and lore, and kind of what I see for myself as the plans in the future of where this whole project is leading to. So I actually do have a video pinpoint in time of when the idea of world building first kind of clicked with me. And it was on a video that I have that's called Making a Studio Ghibli Horror Art Piece or something along those lines. Obviously, I didn't want to, completely copy or rip off a different artist or a different studio when I was exploring these ideas, but just the thought of my artwork kind of mirroring a story of Studio Ghibli started to turn the cogs in my head of what would the story behind this artwork that I was working on be if it was a Studio Ghibli film or just a film in general. And that was kind of the first moment where I started to think about world building in relation to my own art. But from the artwork of The Seeker forward, which is what the name of that artwork ended up becoming, I started to look at each individual artwork that I worked on and trying to place it within this weird set of rules that I was slowly building in my head. And it just got me really excited about art, and it motivated me, and it lit a flame for my creativity from that point forward. I had troubles with art block and motivation for so long, and I did even after that original piece. But in my whole process of beating art block, which I also have a video about, a lot of that came from the intention and motivation to pursue this world that I was building in my head. And that's kind of how I got to my current focus, which is my art mail club. Right now, that is kind of the main driver of lore for my world, is through this art mail club where I release artwork and a little excerpt, usually like a paragraph or two, kind of talking about how this artwork fits into the larger world that I'm building. So because of the way that I fell into world building and creating lore with just kind of stumbling into it with a specific artwork, I never really had this framework of ideas and rules to build my world around. For me, it was something that kind of grew organically. And I definitely have these small ideas, these small seeds that are growing into, behemoths of trees in the lore of the world for how things work. But it was a very organic process as I created art, and as I created that art, thought about why things are working the way that they are within the specific piece. What's the small story? What's the experience of this individual or this deity or this animal? And what does it mean for the larger world from that individual perspective? And actually, I can't believe I've gotten this far into the video without mentioning it, but the name of my world is called Greenvaale. It's spelt with 2 A's because apparently that's just something you do when you're making a world. You spell things a little weird just to set yourself apart. It's really a stroke of literary genius to add an extra A in the Vale. I actually like how the word itself mirrors itself in terms of the letters that line up. So you have 2 E's and 2 A's, and that just it makes my brain happy for some reason. The larger world, I haven't fully come up with an idea of, or the larger universe even, but this area where a lot of my art takes place in the lore that I'm building, it's called Greenvaale. It's a collection of small kingdoms and clans that exist around a central massive forest that kind of gives sustenance to everyone that lives there. I don't want to dive too much into the actual workings of my world building project because, to be honest, I'm not 100% set on how they all work. And that's kind of where I am at right now in the crossroads of building my world. I have all these separate stories and little pieces that are tied together through strings and webs in my head. And there's some very foundational rules and ideas that make this world work that I'm fully committed to, but I need to take the process of these small pieces and slowly turn that into a more cohesive world for my future plans of what this whole project is going to be. So how does that actually affect my approach to world building moving forward? There's one big change that's definitely in the works and has been in the works since the start of the year. There is going to be a complete kind of rebrand or restructuring of how my Patreon is branded, and a little bit in the content that gets released. And there's going to be a focus on the lore, the world building, Greenvaale. It's going to be called Glimpses of Greenvaale. And it's just going to be a much more focused approach to how I release these small lore segments. But beyond that, I need to start determining exactly how the world works, because I have big plans in the future for what this will become. And I think it's important to wear your ambitions on your sleeve. So moving forward, I want to eventually create a graphic novel, a set of graphic novels, perhaps short films, all based around this world that I'm building. And, you know, saying it out loud in front of people on the internet is definitely a little bit scary, but I think it's important to get that idea out in the world. You can manifest it within yourself only so much, but if you don't believe it yourself and you don't tell people that you believe it, then it's never going to come to fruition. So this whole project of world building is for a larger plan that I'm hoping to enact. If I can get a little real, I don't want to keep living the life that I'm living currently. I want to create stories and art and you know, animation and even games and stuff eventually, and it is something that I need to move towards. And it's all a process that has started from a single artwork that inspired me to build a world in my brain. I am more motivated and more creative as I've ever been in my whole life, and I'm so excited for what the future holds. And this is all thanks to a stupid little sketch and drawing that I drew one night. And it just is the spark that has led me down this path to realize my ambitions for my artwork and creativity moving forward. So if I can leave you with an overall message for this video, it is that I know sometimes people can feel a little bit stupid when it comes to world building, and they feel silly making these make pretend worlds in their head, but you really never know where a spark of an idea is going to lead you in life. And I feel like I'm kind of at the start of a really important journey and a transformation personally. And it's all thanks to the process of world building. I truly do believe that art is the most important thing we do as humans. And for me, that's building a weird world with animals with too many eyes and hands that grow out of tree stumps. I'm not really sure how to wrap this video up. I kind of just sat down and started recording. I don't have any sponsors or anything. I'm a small YouTuber. So if you do want to support me, if you want to receive artwork like this every month, you can consider checking out my Patreon. That also comes with art lore and world building, as has been discussed throughout this whole video. Follow me wherever you want. Consider liking the video, subscribing. It all means the world to me. Thank you so much for checking out the video and following along with my random ramblings about world building. And I hope that I sparked some inspiration or some motivation in you to pursue some crazy ideas in your head that you thought were maybe ridiculous, because they never are. Well, some of them probably are. Thank you so much. Keep creating. Take it easy.